Welcome. Thank you for being here with me today. My name is Karla Kelley. I teach at Plaza Park, and I'm here today with your 7-8 ELA lesson. We're going to focus in today on dialogue's role in a story, specifically how particular lines of dialogue can reveal aspects of a character, propel action, or provoke a decision. So we're going to start with a video from McGraw-Hill. As you're watching, listen and see if you can figure out the different ways that dialogue, or the spoken conversation that's going on between the two characters, has an impact on telling you about a character, or provoking decisions, or propelling the action of the story. Oh, oh no. Okay, no tapping, swiping. There we go.
Okay. Okay, Lucy, is it on? Oh, okay, I'm in this scene, but I am still the director, so I still get to say action and cut and stuff, okay?
Fine.
Okay, drawing the line in now. How does that look? Lucy, is it okay?
Sure.
Okay then, action!
Hello there! Begin communication session with Flippy the Dolphin of Earth at once! You there! At once! Guard!
Sir?
Guard! Guard! This contraption is malfunctioning! Make it communicate with Flippy the Dolphin at once!
Sir, you hold this and speak into here. I will enter the communication code we have for Flippy's facility.
Hello? Dolphin Land Marine Park?
I must speak to Flippy the Dolphin at once!
Flippy can't come to the phone because he's doing a show at the moment. And also, he is a dolphin.
I demand that Flippy the Dolphin come to Little Leader's birthday party and perform this show we've heard so much about in our sector.
I am sorry, sir. Flippy doesn't do birthday parties. He can't really leave his tank. Maybe you should get a clown instead.
What is a clown?
You know, clowns. Clowns. They dress up in funny hats and make people laugh by juggling and stuff.
But I know how to juggle, and I'm wearing a hat. Does this make me a so-called clown, Mr. Dolphin Land Marine Park?
Well, sir, if the hat fits.
Cat!
I am supposed to yell cut, Rodney. We weren't done with the scene.
But I don't get it, Benson. Why is Great Leader so angry?
Well, what do we know about Great Leader? In all of the TV shows and movies, have we ever seen him laugh?
He's never laughed at a joke. He does that maniacal laugh sometimes, but I don't think he has a sense of humor.
Right. He doesn't know that he's being joked with. So when I make a joke in our dialogue,
He gets angry. Angry enough to order Scout Ship 7 to steal Flippy the Dolphin.
right, the conversation on the phone makes Great Leader act in a certain way.
And it moves the story forward. Okay, I get it now. Let's pick it up from where I slammed down the phone.
Okay, action!
Guard!
Yes, Great Leader.
Contact Scout Ship 7 at once. I must tell Tronock that he has a dolphin to steal.
Okay, cut!
Finally.
All right, so in the clip you get to see some aspects of what dialogue can do in a story. They talked about Great Leader at the end there and how he didn't have a sense of humor, so jokes made him angry. So that's a character trait, right, having that kind of humorlessness. It also talked about how because Great Leader was angry, he was provoked. He made a decision to propel the action of the story and go steal the dolphin, right? So dialogue can do those three things: propel action, provoke decisions, and reveal aspects of character. Specifically today, we are going to talk about revealing aspects of character, but what's going to be really neat is following our annotations about what the dialogue reveals about our main character, we're going to be able to infer how that is going to propel action and provoke decisions, all right? So the dialogue is going to tell us so much about our character that we can make a guess about what happens later. Before we get started, let's review some character traits. I'll give you a minute to kind of read through these and maybe even think about some that have been used to describe you. So character traits are tried and true, meaning they usually stick with a person, okay? Feelings like anger, happiness, those are fleeting, right? We all get angry or happy occasionally. Hopefully more occasionally on the anger part, right? So when we look at character traits though, you may be described as creative on a pretty regular basis or loyal, right? And that's a trait of your character or personality. So I'll give you a minute to look through some of these. And now let's dive into our text. So I have 3 excerpts from the first chapter of Libba Bray's A Great and Terrible Beauty. This is actually available, the first chapter is available free online, so you're able to find it if you go searching. But we're gonna read through each of these 3 excerpts, and then I'm going to highlight the dialogue and we'll annotate strictly dialogue, except in that last excerpt. So I'm gonna give you a moment to read this, and then we'll start annotating. So in the narration, we actually get a lot of information about our character here, but we're gonna focus strictly on dialogue. So you'll be able to, more likely than not, draw some really great conclusions since you've read this in its entirety, but now let's just pull out those lines of dialogue that are highlighted here. I am going to pull up my annotation tool and try to slide it, there we go. And we'll do, yeah, let's do pink, that's fine. All right, and so I'm gonna grab my notes here and we're going to look through. So our first line says, please tell me that's not going to be part of my birthday dinner this evening. So I'm gonna make a note here. So we don't want this. So there's a hint here of distaste. I spelled this wrong last time because I was talking and thinking at the same time. All right. And then we also have this note about it being her birthday. Right, they're celebrating with a birthday dinner. I am going to mark in the narration here that we have a first person narrator. All right. And then in the next line of dialogue, we have, what do you think, Gemma, now that you're 16, will you be dining on Cobra? So we get her name here, Gemma. That's our character's name. We get her age tied to the birthday. And we get this fun little fact, the Cobra. So we know that we are in a unique location. And based on, please tell me that's not going to be part of my birthday dinner, we also know that for this narrator, we're in a place where the customs are unusual. And based on the way this is stated, please tell me that's not. Not only do we get the sense of distaste, right? We get the kind of sarcasm. So in response to, will you be dining on Cobra? Our narrator says, I think not, thank you. I hear in London you don't have to defang your meals first. So here we go. I think not, thank you. Mark thank you here. Again with that verbal irony or sarcasm. Getting a real picture here of who our character is. And then in London, you don't have to defang your meals. So clearly this is her preference. And there's that sarcasm again. Right? And then down at the bottom, even past all of the narration that we got here explaining how she's feeling, how much farther to Mrs. Talbot's new house? Couldn't we please take a carriage, right? So we have the much farther piece here. We've got that impatience. And then, couldn't we please take a carriage? So here there's this kind of suggestion that our character is used to transportation. So maybe there's some privilege, right? She doesn't want to walk. And then if you've noticed too, there's please, thank you, please again at the top here, right? So over and over, our narrator is using these words that we generally consider to be polite, right? There's that expectation of courtesy and civility, but used typically in a sarcastic fashion, with the exception maybe of here, okay? So I'm gonna jot down a few notes about, on my note sheet here, words that we've picked out so that I can remember those, okay? We've got this verbal irony, we've got sarcasm, distaste. She's a bit snide here, right? And impatient. So I've got those things. Let's skip to this next section here and take a look at this excerpt. All right, let's dig into our dialogue. So we get introduced to a new character here called Sarita, and they introduce her. Oops, I should probably, oh, that was exciting. I should probably, there we go, turn on annotation. So we get introduced to Sarita through the narration. I'm going to change to blue now. Why not? Who, after this little incident of, the carriage conversation, says, Mem Sahib, these are very nice. Perhaps we will take them to your father, yes? And so here we get this idea that she's trying to change the subject. That's what this piece of dialogue is about, which could be an indication that she wants to maybe keep the peace between mother and daughter. Okay, so that's what we're trying to accomplish here. And then the next line says, he'll only stain his white suit. All right, so we get a few things here. We have only, which is that snideness again. It's only gonna do this. It's problematic, right? And then white suit adds to that indication of privilege. All right, we get this sense of the significance of fashion, right? If you wear white, in all likelihood, you're going to stain it, right? And so there's kind of this idea that, well, it'll be easy enough to handle or someone else can handle it, right? So there's that privilege piece. He will stain his suit. He always does. So we here have that emphasis. More disdain from our narrator. Okay, that's just how he is. That's the way it happens. And always does gives me a clue here that our character is pretty observant. All right, so even if she's disdainful about it, she's observant of this potentially regular occurrence. So not only are we getting information about our main character, but we're also getting some information about some of our side characters here with Sarita and her father, okay? All right, so let's see. Let's see what the last excerpt gives us. I'm going to go ahead and mark again. I've got disdain, observant, another note of privilege, right? Maybe a little less sarcasm here. She seems a little more defensive. Let's check out this last excerpt and see what we get. The dialogue gets a little more fast-paced at this point. We see a little bit more of it. And these excerpts, I did take them and annotate them down a little bit. I kind of abridged them so that they'd fit on the slide and focus in on what we need. But they're pretty much one right after the other. And they get across the information that's necessary. Here, though, with that dialogue even being as fast-paced as it is, we have to look a little bit in the narration to understand what's going on, especially in this last part, what's happening between the mother and daughter. So let's look at B's lines of dialogue. Sarita, that monkey, is a trained thief who will be begging for your wages in a moment, I say with a sigh. So I've included here, you'll notice, the narration that explains how things are being said. It's just so we get a complete sentence. We can still just look at the dialogue to analyze what's happening here. So our narrator addresses Sarita. She considers this monkey a trained thief, which in all likelihood, that's a possibility. So again, that observant nature comes into play. All right. But she also has a really negative view here. So more disdain from her. And then there's a hint of some seniority, or sorry, not seniority, superiority here. Begging for your wages, right? That's superiority. And then to the monkey, she says, how would you like to end up in a birthday stew? Which is not very nice. It's kind of mean. I mean, granted, maybe she doesn't like that monkey. That's not a very nice thing to say. It's kind of cruel, right? Find me if you can, mother says. So at this point, this is where we need kind of the narration to understand what's happening. So mom has this carved mask with snarling teeth and elephant ears, and she puts it on over her face and then says, find me if you can. This is a game, right? We played this game before. It's like hide and seek in a way, right? And so this gives you a clue about that relationship. Mom's working to make her smile. This is a game that they've probably played before, and we know that from the narration. It's a game they've played since they were young, or since the narrator was young. And daughter responds, I see only my mother. Same teeth, same ears. Only ward. And same teeth, same ears is not very nice. So again, some mean. Maybe a little bit spiteful. We get the sense that maybe she's mad at mom for some reason. Mother responds, and I see that turning 16 is not very becoming to my daughter. Big clues. So at the point at which we've turned 16, we're not very becoming, which means that previously our narrator wasn't like this. Something has shifted in her attitude since she turned 16. Okay, so Gemma wasn't like this until she turned 16. And then Gemma answers and gives us the explanation as to why she feels this way. Yes, I am 16. 16. Emphasis. An age at which most decent girls have been sent for schooling in London. So here we go. We've got that reference to London again. This is our ×2 mention of London, right? We don't have to defang our meals in London. And also, decent people get schooled in London at 16. So she considers herself to be decent, right? Okay. And the direct opposite here is that it's indecent not to be, which suggests to us that that's not in the cards for our main character here, right? If she's saying that this is what should be happening, then obviously we can understand that it's not going to happen for her for whatever reason. That hasn't been revealed to us yet, but we do know that she's in a different kind of place than London with very different customs than she's used to in London. All right, and in the narration earlier, it did tell us that her father was a proper British gentleman in the way he ate his pomegranate seeds or whatever, and so that kind of helps hint there too. So I've got more words that I can apply here. This boredom piece here, yeah, maybe she's a little bored with the game. Maybe she's too old to play now. And I keep coming back to disdain, and now I know why. She is mad at her mother. Maybe both of her parents, but mom's taking the brunt of it because they're together, right? She is upset. She's too old to play anymore because now she's 16 and she deserves to go to school, okay? So let's look here at my graphic organizer and let's make some notes about things that we've pulled out about Gemma. We'll do black this time. So some words that were repeated kind of over and over as we went through this were disdainful. These are aspects of her character. Superior. Impatient. I'm going to add privileged here. She's got a sense of superiority, but she's definitely privileged. A little bit of snideness going on. She is observant. She considers herself to be decent. Very sarcastic. We see that often in those first little excerpts. But as I think about the things that are happening and how we can act occasionally when things aren't going our way, we know she's used to things going her way. There's a sense of expectation that things will go her way, right? And she's not getting what she wants, okay? So I'd say she's strong-willed. She's not gonna let up on this. And because I know that she's strong-willed and has this sense of expectation, getting what she wants out of life, that's gonna be our hint. We can make an inference there about how this is gonna provoke a decision or propel the action of the story. If Gemma is used to getting what she wants and knows that right now that's not happening, then I can infer that that's a little bit of like foreshadowing, right? If she's saying this is what I want and she's strong-willed, then in all likelihood that's gonna provoke some kind of decision that might propel the action. It's awfully early in the book to know exactly how the whole story's gonna go, but there's a good indication that she's going to make some kind of change because she's unhappy, right? So we've played with that excerpt. I'm gonna give you an extension. You can make a similar web on your own. It doesn't have to have this many circles. You can make it look, with like boxes. It could have fewer or more, whatever you need. But pick a character and then grab some examples of the character traits that you see based on the things that they say or that are said around them. All right, so look in and listen into dialogue to see what a character is like, what aspects of their character are revealed. Your code word today is pancake. Thank you so much for joining me again. Have a great day.